Horrible Science, Space, Stars, and Slimy Aliens by Nick Arnold. Illustrated by Tony De Sauls. Read by Vienna. Introduction. Space movies are great, aren't they? The starfighter tried to escape. Step on it! Or, but the aliens were closing in. Ark! Don't you just love the speeding spacecraft, perishing planets, and slimy, slobbering aliens? And isn't it a pity when some tedious teacher says, "Oh, but it's all made up"? But what they don't tell you is that real-life outer space is even more scary than the scariest space movie. In a moment, we'll blast into space to boldly go where no science book has gone before. Our mission is to find out why space is just so scary, and why just going for a walk in space without your spacesuit can make your guts explode and your eyeballs plop out of your head. Then, if we survive outer space, we'll be peering at putrid planets and sizzling stars and mad moons. Horrible places, a lot of them. And we'll be finding out fearsome, foul, and funny facts such as how the sun sings, why you can't burp in space, which stars turn you into slime, and why your body bits are made up of blown-up stars. That's right, Watkins, even you have star quality. Yes, these and many more facts really are true. Hold on. Our space expert Luke Upwards wants to say something. Well, most of this book is true. But not the aliens! Oh, alright. Scientists aren't sure if aliens exist. And if you must know, I made up the alien story in this book. Mind you, we will be looking at our chances of meeting real-life aliens. But the rest is really real, even if it sounds like it's off on another planet. And hopefully you'll feel that space is an out-of-this-world subject and you'll be encouraged to find out more. And who knows? Maybe one day you'll become an astronaut and live your own true-life space adventures. So who needs movies? Just grab your popcorn and settle down in your seat. The show is about to begin. Has anyone seen the popcorn? Slurp, scrunch, chomp. Splattering space. Earth is a small blue ball floating in a big black sea. And the big black sea is as dark and dangerous as a bad-tempered black bear in a coal cellar. Later on, we'll find out how deadly dangerous space really is. But first, it's time to check out the basic background bits. So what's floating about up there? Space, stars, and slimy aliens fact file. Name? Stuff in space. The basic facts? Here are the main things that you might see in space. Stars. Balls of super hot gas like the sun that blast heat and light Nearly all stars are hugely bigger than planets, but in 2005, scientists found a pathetically weedy star not much bigger than Jupiter. Galaxies. Swirling whirls of billions of stars. Cool. Astronomical. What on earth is that? Planets and dwarf planets. Big spinning balls of rock and gas that orbit, whiz round a star. One orbit is a year, and one spin is a day. Dwarf planets such as Ceres, Pluto, and Eris are smaller than planets. Solar system. The sun and planets, etc. that orbit it. Moons. Rocky objects that orbit planets and dwarf planets. Asteroids. Large space rocks that orbit the sun. Most of them hang out in an area called the asteroid belt. Comets. Balls of ice and rock that orbit the sun on the edge of the solar system. Some comets fly close to the sun. Slimy secrets. Some stars aren't lucky stars if you go too near them. These twinkling terrors could cook you to a puddle of slime. This star treatment isn't all it's cracked up to be. But there's more to space than planets and galaxies. A whole universe, in fact. Fortunately, there's a way to squeeze the whole universe into 3 minutes. Welcome to the 3-Minute Universe Tour. Get ready to switch on your imagination because you're going to do more imagining than you've ever imagined before. We're going on a 3-minute tour of time and space. Don't forget to put on your spacesuit and set your watch to planet splot time. Warning, you best put on a crash helmet before reading this next bit. First stop, the Big Bang. It's 13.7 billion years ago and the universe has popped out of nothing. It started as a tiny point of heat and energy, but in less than 1 second it's bigger than a galaxy. In the first 20 minutes, many of the atoms that make up you formed in the brain-boggling heat. Maybe it's a bit too hot. Let's get out of here. Second stop, quaking quasars. It's 10 billion years ago and the universe is much bigger. It never stopped growing. The first galaxies have formed and early stars are more violent than a bear in a honey shop. Black holes have formed in the center of the new galaxies and they rip matter apart as it whirls towards destruction. Some horribly hungry holes can gobble 1,000 stars in a year and blast energy 2 trillion times brighter than the sun. Astronomers call these blasts quasars. Maybe this isn't a good spot for a picnic. Third stop, the Milky Way. We're floating in space billions of kilometers from our own galaxy, the Milky Way. Isn't it lovely? Aha, that's Earth down there. Hello, Earth. If you're on Earth and a long way from streetlights, the Milky Way looks like milky drool dribbled across the night sky by a giant baby. Except it's not milk. It's stars. About 200,000 billion stars, in fact. And they're bunched together because you're seeing them from the side. Look at a dish and you'll get the idea. The Milky Way is just one of over 40 galaxies called the local group. And the local group is one of 400 galaxy groups known as the local supercluster. But that's not as local as your local supermarket. You might like to know that we're in an interesting sounding gas cloud called the local fluff, which is part of an area known as the local bubble. Fourth stop, Earth. In 1990, scientists launched the Hubble telescope to see the stars from space, and they tried peering at a speck of sky the size of a stick insect's eyeball on the end of your outstretched fingertip. You might think they found one measly star, but they found more, much, much more. The daily solar system, January 15th, 1996. What a lot of space! Scientists are stunned by the latest findings from the Hubble Space Telescope. Even in a tiny bit of sky, there are 2,000 galaxies. Earth-based telescopes can see billions of stars, but clouds and dusty air can spoil the view. The Hubble telescope has a much clearer view from outside the Earth's atmosphere. Said one awestruck astronomer, "It makes me feel very small and spaced out." She then disappeared into a darkened room with a cup of tea and a headache pill. 2,000 galaxies could mean 200,000 billion stars, and those were just the galaxies Hubble could make out. But the amazing truth is that scientists reckon that space is nearly all empty. Space. If the universe was 30 kilometers wide and 30 kilometers high, all the stars and galaxies and planets and slime ice cream from Planet Splot was scrunched into an itsy-bitsy grain of sand. Fifth stop. The universe in 1,000,000 billion years' time. It's dark. It's cold even by space standards because most of the stars have spluttered out. Even the longest-lived stars eventually burn out or get sucked into black holes. There is scarcely any energy around for living things to consume. The trouble is that energy is always being lost as heat, and now the universe is too big and matter is too scattered for gravity to pull together new stars. Eventually, even the black holes will disappear. It's all very sad and dreary. Scientists have even got a nice cheerful name for how the universe will end. Heat death. Maybe it's time to go home for a nice hot drink. The mind-blowing, mysterious universe. Having toured the universe in 3 minutes, you might think that astronomers know it all, but they don't. Here are some maddening mysteries to mull over. Where has 96% of the universe got to? According to scientists, the stars and planets, etc., we can see should only amount to 4% of the universe. The other 96% seems to be hiding. The experts that 22% of the universe could be objects such as black holes that we can't see or detect, but where's the rest got to? Some boffins reckon there could be undiscovered particles out there, all very mysterious. Why is the universe growing so fast? In the 1990s, scientists were shocked to find that the universe wasn't behaving itself. It was growing too fast to fit their theories. According to the experts, this is due to a mysterious power called dark energy that pushes things apart. It would be handy if they were right, since dark energy could be the missing 74% matter of the universe. And yes, you did read that right because you can actually make matter from energy. Why aren't we overrun with aliens? There could be 1 billion planets in the Milky Way like Earth. So why aren't slimy aliens crawling out of our plug holes? Well, they might be too distant to contact us. I mean, the universe is many trillions of kilometers across, and we can't send them our address and expect a postcard. Earth, the solar system, or an arm. That's one of the swirling, sticking out bits. The Milky Way, the local group, the local supercluster, the universe. Oops, sorry, I've forgotten the postcode. Dear Earthlings, found you at last. Must pop around for tea sometime. Love the aliens. XXX. A radio light signal would be quicker. They whiz along at 300,000 kilometers per second, or 9.46 million kilometers per year. I guess they're so fast because they're traveling light. Scientists call this distance a light year. But the Milky Way is 100,000 light years across, and a chat with aliens could take 10,000 years. And I bet your phone bills would be astronomical. Mind you, that hasn't put off some scientists. A series of SETI projects, SETI equals Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, searched for alien radio signals, but so far without result. Maybe aliens aren't smart enough to build radios, or maybe they don't want to know us. What's that? You want to go looking for aliens and dark matter and dark energy, and you can't wait to leap into your spacesuit and go and see space? Not so fast. You don't think you'd be allowed to whiz off in a multi-billion-dollar spacecraft just like that, do you? You need years of training before you're allowed near one of those things. But while you're waiting for your training to start, you can always read our super sci-fi space story. And guess what? The first episode shows what space is really like. You bet. No? Odd Blob's Alien Adventure. Greetings. My name's Odd Blob from the planet Blurb. I used to be a space explorer, but now I'm in the intergalactic adventure holiday business. Here's my brochure. Get away from it all with Odd Blob's Adventure Tours. Relax in our luxury chauffeur-driven spacecraft on a guided tour of the solar system. Brilliant brainy guide with 2 brains. That's me, Odd Blob. Action, adventure, and fun for all the family.